Aloha. Ooh. I want to cover Sam Seder and PBD on the PBD. They're talking about he voted for Kamala Harris. And they're going to act like they're fighting this different fight, but they're fighting for the exact same thing. And I want to go over this and tell you guys or show you guys what I'm talking about.
And you're sitting here saying you guys think you got better policies?
No, I think Kamala Harris.
This is a policy
Kamala Harris
conversation.
So first off, he's talking about Democrats. You think you guys have better policies? No. Straight off. Why would you be a Democrat if you don't think they have better policies?
Kamala Harris is. I mean, I think. Look, I think it was what Biden did in staying in was atrocious.
Right.
He should have gotten out way earlier.
And you still back a party that had a guy that had dementia running for president, and you voted for him.
There's a story coming out now of like Ron Klain seeing him before the debate and realizing the guy was a mess. And I think Harris's campaign was also poorly run. I think that, nobody could tell what her policies were. Mark Cuban's going out there saying we're going to get rid of. Right, I agree.
Exactly. And I did a video earlier where Dr. O was talking about she ran a perfect campaign. And so these Democrats, you guys have to get out of your dementia or whatever this is, this voting for the lesser evil, because you're still voting for evil, and and you're trying to justify it. You can't justify evil. She ran a perfect campaign. She didn't even know what she was running on. She started making it up as she was going. It was nuts.
Mark Cuban's coming out there saying like, oh, don't worry, she's not going to do any more of this antitrust stuff. On one hand, I don't want a billionaire coming out and speaking for my candidate.
And if you don't want a billionaire coming out speaking for your candidate, Sam Seder, how about you join the Green Party? You got this big platform. You could have been building left-wing, progressive parties, a party since Air America. What was that, like 30 years ago?
Did you vote for her? Or did you sit that one out?
No, I voted for her.
You voted for Kamala. Why? Just because
Because
it's
I
not
vote-
changes?
Yeah,
Well,
very
here's-
rational.
No, but hold on.
I'll answer you.
What did you? I want to hold on. You voted. This is what drives me crazy about your side. You guys
I
voted.
for the lesser of two evils.
That is what?
And see, that's BS. Like, when you can say that out loud, why not vote for a good? If we all stop voting for a lesser of two evils, I'm done with that, right? Just vote for the greater good. If we all do that, we'll get some good stuff. Why don't we have nice things? Because we vote for a lesser evil. How does that not make sense?
Policy were you going for? What do you think that she was going to do different? What can you possibly? I would rather have you sit that one out, Sam. Go ahead.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
She was not going to cut Social Security functioning. She's not going to cut the USDA. She's not going to cut the FDA. She's not going to lose us $500 billion worth of return on investment with the IRS. She's not going to cut the Bureau of Labor Statistics. She's not going to cut 300
investment
return on investment. Every dollar that you give to the IRS, we get 6 or 7 back. She's not going to cut the museum and library.
Say that?
Google it. Every dollar spent.
Okay, Sam said Google it, so I did. Excuse me. Choking. Every dollar spent on IRS yields 6 or 7 back is what I typed in. It came up, so I clicked it. Studies suggest that for every dollar spent on IRS enforcement activities, there's a significant return in tax or an increased tax revenue, with estimates ranging from around $5 to $9, so even higher than 7, and even higher for audits of high-income individuals. So that's what they don't want you to know. So check this out. We come down here, like it says, audit, whatever, but come down here, high-income individuals. Studies indicate that the highest returns come from audits of the wealthiest individuals, with some research showing that audits of the wealthiest 0.1% produce nearly triple the return, with each dollar yielding over 6 in revenue. So basically, they're saying don't tax the rich. The rich are cheating their taxes, right? And so if the IRS audits every rich person every year, we'd make $5 to $9 extra dollars for every dollar that we spent, or for every dollar that we spent into the IRS, we'd make $5 to $9. So 5 to 9 times whatever we spent. So if we hired more IRS agents, we could audit more very rich people. Now, If you make, say, 50,000, 30,000, you make less than $100,000 a year, there is no need to audit you. What are you paying taxes? You know what you paying taxes. If you pay less than, or do they pay you back? If they owe you every year, like it depends on what you do. Like when you start making more money, sometimes you are paying in because you keep your money out so you can invest it and you pay in, but you make more on the keeping it out. So if you're doing that, then you're still making more. But they're not. Oh, so they wouldn't. They don't want to audit you. They don't want to audit anybody making under $100,000 because what are they going to get from you? If you didn't pay your taxes at all and you made $100,000, you're going to get what? $15,000, $20,000 from you? Maybe. When they audit these 0.1 percenters, they're getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in taxes. They're getting a lot of money. And back to Sam and PBD.
That the IRS gets 6 back in returns.
Goodness.
They're anticipating the cuts from Doge. The cuts from Doge.
To who? So it goes to the government, right? They tax the rich, that 0.1%, and then they pay for roads, schools. Mostly they pay for the military to bomb people. But we need to stop doing that. We should pay for more roads and schools and better schools, especially better schools and like food.
Are going to cost our government $500 billion.
According to who?
Studies suggest.
All right,
According to
I
who?
undersold it a little bit.
According to who?
Undersold it a little bit,
Okay,
yeah.
well, that, you can spend time attacking the people who do these
according to-
calculations.
not
do you need me to tell you more
Yeah,
about
but
why?
what I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious to
Just
what.
rando tariffs applied in a willy-nilly fashion that crash the economy.
So you don't think the tariffs that Trump is, and I get it. That's the tariffs are exactly what America needs right now, because let's just go to the border.
Exactly
what he
what
did with the
America
border
needs.
with Mexico, with the tariffs, what happened to fentanyl? What happened to all the deaths? What happened to all those illegals that are caught? What do you mean? He threatened them and they went to war.
Fentanyl comes across the border at ports of entry.
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl comes across the border, not in illegals crossing the desert. It comes in.
Oh, really? Coyotes
really?
and oh, really?
It comes in,
Oh, okay.
It comes in.
Yep.
Yeah.
It comes in at ports of entry. Google that.
So they don't understand. I don't even have to Google that. So what you're saying is you're bringing in pounds and pounds, hundreds of pounds of fentanyl. You don't bring that in a bag. You don't have some lady that you're smuggling over the border. Coyotes smuggle people, women, children, and men. People. And you got to bring water, right? At least some water, you try to. But you bring your clothes, a little bit of clothes, a little bit of whatever, but you don't have a lot of stuff. You're not going to carry fentanyl across the border because a lot of these people don't even make it across the border. You wouldn't do that. Ports of entry, what Sam is saying is you put it in car wheels, you put it in the car body, you put it in luggage, you put it in certain things, right? You pack it in bases or whatever, like you look up a movie or look at those cop things or whatever. They smuggle it across the border through ports of entry means like inside of inanimate objects. People can't carry hundreds to thousands of pounds of fentanyl. It's not worth carrying a 5-pound pack of fentanyl across the border if you're an illegal immigrant trying to come across the border looking for asylum and getting smuggled by a coyote or whatever. What is 5 or 10 pounds going to do for you except get you in trouble if you get caught? Like, Vinny is crazy. These guys don't know what they're talking about.
Sam, I don't need to Google when it's like
Yes, you do.
You said you voted for someone. You're coming up with these policies. The worst pick ever, the biggest loss ever. She lost everything.
The worst pick ever? I think. See, the Democrats have been messing around lately. And I don't know. They've kind of been finding out. Everybody's been finding out because we got Trump. But Kamala, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton. Those are 3 back-to-back-to-back terrible. Like, I don't know. Which one do you think is worse? If you're watching this video, let me know in the comments section. Which one is worse out of Kamala, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden? Because those are pretty bad options right there.
Because your side, you're talking about
I don't even know
people.
what
Wait,
that
let me ask you a question. You're acting like your whole side was surprised that Biden wasn't there. Everybody knew, including.
Look at Vinny's face. He's about to have an aneurysm. And the Democrats and the Sam Seders of the world, the liberals, pretended they knew, but they pretended like Joe Biden wasn't mentally gone, right? Anyone on the left knows Joe Biden was mentally gone and did not want him anywhere near anything. But we don't want Democrats anywhere near anything. So
He wasn't there at all. But you guys are like, he's just not Trump. The worst president in the history of the world in this country, 4 years, because you guys were pretending that he was all there and we knew it. And who was making all the decisions? Who was making all the decisions? Who was signing all the shit? Who was signing off? How many times did you have to see Biden sitting there and they'd ask him a question and he'd go, "Oh, I can't because they told me
it's weird
I
when
couldn't."
Vinny's right
he
about
wasn't
something.
in charge.
They who?
Yeah, who was they? Come on, Sam. It's like the most devastating loss. The world, the country is over it. You guys aren't pivoting, okay? And if you think the future is Gavin Newsom, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Jasmine Crockett, you guys are doomed.
Bernie Sanders is the only one of those that have future prospects. AOC done sold out. Gavin Newsom, really, way on the right. And then Jasmine Crockett, she's just fake. Like she's coming up through all these, what do you call it, private schools, all highfalutin and stuff, and now want to act all ghetto and stuff. Be who you are. Talk how you talk. Don't be fronting and being some TV show person. You're weird.
Nothing is going to change. And Elon Musk, you think Elon Musk is a net positive or a net negative for society? For what he's doing?
Far.
And pointing out what the hell these people have been screwing us for all these.
So the question was, is Elon Musk a net positive or a net negative on society? Let's check out this man's thought process.
They show him the new missile they've developed, and but it has kind of a round head. And he says, "You need to make it more pointy," to his engineers. Actually, that's what I also said the same thing. Doctor, we need to make it more pointy.
Did you say that?
Mm-hmm. And we made it
Because of the movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. You literally told them to make the starship more pointy because of the movie The Dictator.
Yep. And they know it too. It's not like they. It's
They
not like
knew
they
it
haven't.
too, right? So
Unaware
they're gonna
of
listen
it.
to him even when they know
Everyone
it's
thought it would be
gibberish.
funny if we made the rocket more pointy, so we did.
Did it have any effect on the aerodynamics?
No,
Nothing.
no, we can make it way blunter and be fine.
Make it
But
pointy.
is it better to be pointier? Or like if it wasn't for the
It's
movie.
arguably slightly worse, but
So
like
he's gonna put the astronauts in danger. He's going to put society in danger. Is Elon Musk a net positive or net negative? When you watch this, I would say a net negative. So pretty much by Elon Musk on a mission, he is a net negative.
These years, and he's pointing out, you guys are mad at the person pointing out who robbed from you than the actual robber. That's the truth, bro. Yeah, he's a billionaire. You think he's doing it because
What
he needs the
fraud
money?
has he found?
The actual robber, talking about the government robbing from you. That's why we need the Green Party. You guys need to get in the Green Party. People powered party, fill the Green Party. You got the Democrats, the Republicans, filled by corporate interest. It's no different than giving to Walmart straight up or any other corporation, Blackwater, doesn't matter. They're the same. Democrats, Republicans, corporations, all the same. So if you want the government to change, if you want our money to go towards us, you kind of got to get involved a little bit.
What do you mean? How much fraud
What
has he
fraud?
found?
Yeah, where's
Okay,
the
I'll just-
person
I'll just give
who
you-
is going to be indicted for fraud?
Well, what about the waste?
What
Let's
waste?
change the
It's not-
subject.
Stop it, Sam.
What waste? They just cut the
Sam,
they
what's our-
cut,
what's
they
our
cut
current-
the agency that provides $295 million to museums and libraries. You appreciate libraries, don't you? I know how much
Okay,
reading
but
And
Sam,
is
museums,
we're
important to
maybe?
you and
pinpointing
your
the
kids.
one good thing that they probably
Okay, no,
did.
no, wait, I
What
can
about
keep
the
going.
waste of countries all around the world
The
for LGBTQ
USAID
agendas in
okay,
Rwanda or
the
something?
money you're talking about
you want money
is
going
a
to
fraction of a percentage. And if we wanted to get rid of that money, there is a way of doing it, and that is to have Congress vote and reverse what they authorized in the first place.
Sam.
But to have a billionaire come in and decide based upon what his personal preferences are that he's going to cut government in this way, I'm sorry, that's not democracy. It's not even remotely close to
He
it.
doesn't have the power to do anything. He makes us.
We've never had a democracy. We've always had rich people making decisions. That's how we started. Land owning, which at the time meant rich, land owning white men made all the decisions. Rich people have always made the decisions in the United States. It was made for rich people. It was stolen from the natives, taken from land-loving people, and made for money-loving people to spread money and not spread money to spread themselves, spread their religion, spread their thing, and and keep it for themselves and make everybody else poor. Pretty much, that's what America has always been.
Suggestion.
Why do you think
and then the
Americans
administration will
voted for this?
do it?
Why do you think Americans voted for
I
these
don't think
policies?
Americans heard the word Doge outside of it being some type of crypto.
Cryptocurrency.
Before,
Why did America vote for these policies? Because, like you both said, we vote for the lesser evil. They just figured Trump was the lesser evil, where Sam thought Kamala was the lesser evil. When you know both are evil, there is no good choice.
Why do you
Or,
think?
That's
Why
not
do you think
true.
Americans voted for Trump?
well, I think because they want change.
In what?
What were they not happy with?
And it is so silly that you think Trump could possibly be changed. Trump gave Schumer money, gave Hillary Clinton money, gave every Democrat you could probably think of money, other than maybe the last 6 years or so since he's been a Republican. But Trump is not changed. He is the status quo. He was up there on the Republican stage talking about, I've given everybody on the stage money. He is the status quo. He's been a businessman who was rich when he was born, could file bankruptcy 6 times, and not have to worry about money ever. And he's gonna run. You guys want him to run the country like his businesses? He's gonna file bankruptcy 6 times through the country stuff. Like, okay, let's break it down.
I think inflation was a big part of it for them.
What else you think?
I think for a 90%
Yeah.
of his voters voted for Mitt Romney. I think there is the Republican
Romney.
Party wants to have
Okay.
tax cuts.
How do we get inflation? How does inflation?
Can we stay in
happen?
2024?
Hang on
You
one
said
second,
inflation.
Tom.
What
Tom,
else?
give me 1 second. How does inflation happen?
It's so
Inflation can happen in a couple of different ways. Inflation can happen because you have too much monetary supply.
Yeah.
Inflation can happen in terms of both from a monetary supply level or a fiscal stimulus.
Right.
And inflation can also happen if you have a once in a lifetime pandemic that completely screws up all of your logistics. And so you've got, shipping containers that usually cost $4,000 to ship, but now they cost $22,000 to get because they're in far flung places because the
That was in
pandemic screwed up.
2021. That was in 2021.
Well, it reverberates through the thing. We
Right.
saw inflation dropping through 2024.
Sure.
We saw rate cuts
Sure.
On the table because we saw
Do you
inflation
think
dropping.
any of it was with again? So those are the main 2 issues. You don't think anything else. So you mainly think it was inflation, and your second
I
point
don't
was
understand how this guy can have money. Like, these people on this show have no idea what they're talking about. They have no understanding of facts or taxes or anything. They just say stuff and none of it is correct. How do they have a following? How do they have money? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what in the hell?
Well, I think in large part we have structural problems in this country, and that's why we keep getting change elections where we keep going back and forth.
what was
And
what
I
were,
would say those structural problems range from I
And
think
it's not really back and forth. Back and forth between the Republicans and Democrats is just staying the same. It's just the same status quo. They are not different.
a lot of them have to do with wealth inequality.
okay. So you think Democrats are better at helping wealth inequality or Republicans?
I think Democrats are marginally better.
Marginally.
Tell me due to what
Marginally.
policy?
Well, taxation helps. That's a big part.
Okay.
Strengthening labor, I think.
But see, somebody like him he has a show. He has an audience. You could build the Green Party, the DSA. You could build the Majority Report Party if that's what you want to do. You could build an actual left-wing party. But when you're doing what you've done for 20, 30 years, and you're keeping actual left-wing people in a right-wing party because it's never the right time to make a change and you have to always vote for the lesser evil, you are that liberal. You are the problem that Malcolm X is talking about. It's disgusting almost. You're gonna slightly better? No, it's not okay. We need a revolution. We need to change the oligarchy that was started, that was built from the beginning. But you want to keep it the status quo. You are liberal. You are more like Patrick Bet-David than you are like an actual progressive or leftist.
During Biden,
Through
I have a lot of problems with
jobs,
Biden, but
where 6% of the
labor-
workers work from home. Yeah. So how about
labor? I mean, strength.
This dude is going to talk about 6% of the workers working from home. What are they doing when they work from home? They're sitting at a desk, at a computer, like this man right here. This place is probably more lavish than most people's homes. His office, he probably got refrigerators and some nice food and some nice couches, and those chairs are sitting on are probably nice. He gonna talk about people working from home. What is wrong with people working from anywhere? As long as they're doing the work that needs to be done. When you're this rich dude who can work from wherever you want because you got all the money in the world, but then you want to count poor people's money and count what they're doing and say, oh, you can't work from there. Why? What you do is useless. All you do is talk and you lie. Most of the time, you ain't even telling the truth. All you do is just bullshit. And you are paid. You get to be rich. But then you're saying, oh, the government can't create useless jobs of people at least doing something, working at a museum, working at a library, doing a little bit of something. I'm sitting here trying to podcast too, whatever, but I'm more doing it trying to get in office. But you do it for money, and you ain't doing it. Your work creates nothing but misinformation. You are a net negative to society, and you get paid for it.
Strengthening labor
Right.
strength in the marketplace helps with wealth inequality. I think antitrust goes a long way to wealth inequality because it literally is to break up
So
the concentration
Here's the
of
other
wealth.
question for you. So Trump's closed up the border, right? Where we are not getting like this. Numbers have dropped dramatically.
Well, I mean, if you go back and look in the, and I don't necessarily agree with Biden doing this, but if you go back and look at the numbers starting in the summer of 2024, maybe a little bit before.
Stop it.
I'm sorry. Go look, just put it up there.
Oh,
Put
when
it
he,
up.
when he started
Put it
at
up.
but
But
this
listen,
is
I'm not in favor of
but
him
this
doing
is the
this,
spin
but he
job.
did do it. Wait, put up the graph of.
So you mean
but let
an
me just
election
make
year?
my
An
point.
election year,
Let
he
me
tried to
just-
slow down the
Let me
border.
just get through this.
Yeah,
And
he
then, guys,
did it.
here's what I'd like to
I'm
do.
not in favor of
Here's
it, but he
I'd
did
like
it.
to do. I'd like to get through some stories, but I just want to close the knot here and move on because we're not going to make any
See if
progress
you can get a
here.
graph of that.
Rob, if you just want to show up graph
You're not
on
gonna make any
immigration
progress
from
on the
2021,
differences of
22,
parties 'cause there's no
22, is
differences.
that the chart you want to see? What do you want to see?
Let's see
make
the
you
one over
see
the past. You
show up
said he
how many
dropped
illegal
it
immigrants
dramatically
came here.
in January, and I'm suggesting
It
to you,
has.
if you look at the past 12
No,
months.
no.
It's
charts.
okay. Rob, do
All right, so I actually am about to go to this protest today. They talk about Stephen A. Smith, and Sam was like, he doesn't even know who Stephen A. Smith is. He only knows him from sports and doesn't really follow him and whatnot. And they just kind of grill him on some silly shit. But Sam, a liberal, is bringing information to these right-wing nut jobs that just don't understand facts. They're all feelings over facts and just, well, that doesn't make sense, or get to the point, when he's on the point, and they just don't understand the point. So, yeah, PBD is a goofball, and hopefully one day I can get on the show, talk to him. Hit me up, PBD. Come across the spectrum with me.